My name is Rafael, you're watching Record Garage, and today I'm going to show you 4 punk rock bands that the late legendary Lemmy Kilmister, the Motörhead vocalist and bassist and founder, loved. But first, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave your comment. Well, as you probably know if you're a Motörhead fan, they were one of the few bands who had the chance to have metal fans and punk rock fans at their shows and buying their records, because they were kind of a mixture of punk and metal, at least in my vision and the vision of many other people, because of the speed and their heaviness. And obviously, Lemmy was a big fan of punk rock music, and today we're going to talk about 4 of his favorite bands from that genre. The first one, it's quite obvious, the Ramones. He even wrote a music for the Ramones, paying tribute to them. And that song was called Ramones. As you probably know, if you haven't heard, you should definitely check it out after this video. It's fantastic. And it is, the interesting thing is that it's a very short song. And he starts counting 1, 2, 3, 4, like D.D. Ramone used to do on Ramones albums. And this song was featured on Motörhead's 1991 album called 1916. And the band's vocalist Joey Ramone was really happy with that tribute that Lemmy wrote to them, and he recalled that when the song was released, he said it was the ultimate honor, like John Lennon was writing a song for you. That's what he said. And the curious thing is that the Ramones used to adopted the song, and they used to play the song live many times during their shows, and they performed the track on and off, and until their final show in 1996, at which C.J. Ramone, who was the replacement for D.D. at the time, and Lemmy shared the lead vocals for that track. And in an interview with Spin magazine in 2009, Lemmy talked about the birth of the punk movement, and he explained why he loved the Ramones but didn't like bands like The Clash. And this is what he said: like the punks, we just swept all that tedious 70s, Rick Wakeman, artsy-fartsy, yellow bell bottoms, caftans and sandals shit aside. If you hadn't seen what we looked like, you would have thought we were a punk band. I remember going down to Roxy, a London club, one night just to see what the punk thing was all about. I was standing at the bar. This bush behind me said, "I used to sell acid at Hawkwind's all-night shows in King's Cross." And I turned around and it was Johnny Rotten. I remember him. He used to have long hair with pockets full of drugs. It's funny though, I never liked The Clash. They sounded like old music dressed up as punk. The Ramones were geniuses, though. Joey especially had a nose for rock and roll. We were friends, although we weren't close when he died. I hate to see people on the way out. I prefer to remember him as he was. And their first meeting had face-to-face happening back in 1976, when Ramones went to play in England for a few shows. The Motörhead already existed for about a year around that time, and he recalled about his first meeting that he clicked with D.D. and Joey from the first minute, but Johnny was not really good at the time. This is what he told Stay Thirsty Media back in 2007. I just fell in well with Joey and D.D., Johnny wasn't so friendly, but then he never was. The other two I got on really well with. And terrible, they're all gone. I couldn't believe it. I mean, Johnny and D.D. went within 7 months of each other. Ridiculous. Bang, 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 they're all gone. I think they kind of died when D.D. left, in a way. I think that crippled Joey because he had no buddies in the band then. And this is what he said about the Ramones. Now we go to the second band, which is the Sex Pistols. Naturally, Motörhead already covered the Sex Pistols, God Save the Queen. There's a really funny clip of the band with Queen Elizabeth look-alike, and it's a very interesting clip. And in an interview with State Thursday Media a few years after that other one in 2010, he was asked if he liked the Sex Pistols, and this is what he said. Yeah, if he liked the Sex Pistols movies, and he said, yeah, the one of the first tour. That's quite funny. There's not a lot of music in it, mind you, but it's funny to see all them old faces. Sue, Catwoman, and all them. I used to like a lot of them because they were great, and then some of them died, smack again. And during that conversation, he was talking about Sid Vicious, the bassist who replaced Glenn Matlock in the band at the time, there in the 70s, and he recalled that Sid Vicious actually lived in his flat for a few months, and Lemmy taught him how to play the bass. He could even play the bass, according to Lemmy. He tried to teach him, but he was hopeless, according to Lemmy. This is what he told Louder Than War in 2011. Sid Vicious lived in my flat for a couple of months. I tried to teach him bass, but he was hopeless. One day he came rushing to the flight, all excited, saying, Lemmy, I got the job with the Sex Pistols. I said, great, as a part of the road crew, and I left. You can't even play the bass, you're hopeless. So that's a funny connection between Lemmy and Sid Vicious. And we go to the third band, which is The Damned, another incredible British punk rock group, of who Lemmy's a big fan of it. He loved the band, and for a brief period, he was a member of the group, believe it or not. They broke up in 1978, and the musicians started several projects at their era. The drummer Rat Scabies formed a group called Les Punks that featured many of his bandmates like Captain Sensible, Dave Vanian, and Lemmy from Motörhead. Lemmy helped the group, performing with them several times live in concert, also served as the bassist on many studio demos. He's even credited as the bassist on the band's version for the Sweets hit Ballroom Blitz. The track was added as an extra on some reissues of the Damned's 1979 album Machine Gun Etiquette. And in an interview with Paul Dunoyer, Lemmy talked about how Motörhead was accepted by the punks. And this is what he said. The punks loved us. The only reason we weren't in that lot was because we had long hair. So obviously we must be heavy metal. That was the thinking. But a lot of kids heard us without seeing a picture, so they thought we were a punk band. Whatever. I always thought we had a lot more in common with the Damned than we did with Judas Priest. I used to love the Damned, the Captain, Lemmy said. He even said that it was an important person that motivated the Damned singer, Captain Sensible, to get sober. So he even helped the vocalist of the band to get sober. I mean, imagine Lemmy Kilmister helping somebody to get sober. That's quite interesting. And the fourth one that we selected are the Professionals, which is a spin-off band of Sex Pistols. The Professionals were formed by the guitarist Steve Jones and drummer Paul Cook, both ex-members of Sex Pistols, alongside Andy Allen, bass, and Ray McVie, guitar. With that original lineup, they released two praised studio albums, The Professionals in 1980, and I Didn't See It Coming in 1981. In an interview with Classic Rock back in 2014, Lemmy was saying that Sid Vicious was hired by Sex Pistols because he looked good with the bass guitar and was a friend of John Lydon. But he also said that it was the guitarist Steve Jones that played all the bass parts of the album Never Mind the Bollocks because Sid couldn't play. Then Lemmy praised the Professionals, which was the band formed after him. So this is what he told Classic Rock. He looked good, didn't do fuck all of it. That was why they hired him, and because he was a mate of John's. Steve had a real hard time with him. He said, I had to do everything. I had to fucking teach him to play one note right. He said, I had to play the bass on the fucking album. That was a good band. What they were called with Ronnie Biggs, That was the start of it, and they came back and they became the Professionals. That was a good band, the Professionals. I liked them. I went to see them a few times. They were fucking good. Ray McVie on guitar. I saw him other day, actually. He lives in LA now. So that's what Lemmy said 1 year before his death at the age of 70 in 2015. And this is it. I hope you like the list. It's a really interesting list. If you haven't heard, for example, The Professionals, which is a less known band, you should definitely check it out. They're quite good. Those two albums are really interesting for punk fans. And now you know a little bit more about Lemmy's taste on punk rock bands, and you know that he was not a big fan of The Clash. So if you want to read more, please go to the description, visit the article I wrote about it. There's a lot more there to read about all of this. Don't forget to visit rockandrollgarage.com, like the video, leave your comment, tell me what you think, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I see you later.